Jaeger, how do you pull up after the first game?
Yeah, good. Always a little bit sore after the first hit out against proper opposition. So we've got a few boys that have been managed. It's a shorter week this week. We've only got 6 days in between our match coming up against Port Adelaide on Friday. So you would have seen this morning that a few guys were managed, but I think the majority of the group has pulled up pretty well.
There's a bit of a logjam for spots in the midfield. You spent time on the wing the other night. How long is it since you've been out there?
Yeah, a while. Probably since I played a little bit at Hawthorn on the wing, but the majority inside, a little bit at the Suns. But I haven't spent a whole lot of time on the wing, and I'm really enjoying it. There's a fair bit more running involved, which has been a good challenge, and I'm enjoying the challenge of a new role as well. We've got a number of guys that can go through the midfield, and we've got a fair depth list there now, which we haven't had in the past. So it's a really good position to be in, and there's a number of guys that will probably have to roll through some different positions, which is good.
Is it competitive, as you've seen, in terms of a midfield battle to get into the side?
Yeah, particularly our intra-clubs, the midfield battle head-to-head has been really solid, and we've been going at each other. You would have read it's been well documented how hard we've been going at each other, so it's nice to come up against some real opposition. But yeah, we do have some good depth there, which is a nice position to be in.
Which of the guys do you expect to probably roll through the wing a little bit more compared to sort of seeing them on the inside that we're used to?
I think you saw on the weekend Matty Johnson, Nathan O'Driscoll, Jeremy Sharp didn't play with illness. Andy Brayshaw and myself went through there, so you'll probably see the likes of those guys. But any number of those guys going through the mid can play on a wing or at half forward. So we'll see how we go. It's going to be a tough time for the head coach to choose a side for this weekend and for round one as well.
How's the feeling with the mid-forward connection? It's something the squad's been working on. How's the feeling rolling it out against the other team for the first time?
Yeah, good. It's a small sample size only the game going from the weekend, but it's something we've been working on. We're under no illusions that's something that we need to get better at, and we also need to get better at our contest and our team defence. We finished 13th on the ladder last year, so there's a number of things that we want to improve on, and those are just a few of those.
Justin Longmuir mentioned that Nat Fyfe has sort of added another dimension to his game. What did you make of his performance? Yeah,
really pleasing for him to get through. He only played a half and then had some extra top-up running too on the sidelines after. But yeah, he's just so hard to tackle. You would have seen that. I think he had 20-odd possessions. So it's nice to see him fit back in. And he's had a really, really good preseason, and I'm told that it's the best his body has been for a number of years. So yeah, really glad to have him on our team, and hopefully he can have an injury-free year.
How's the mindset switch now? Long summer, it's creeping pretty close now.
Yeah, it is. It's getting really close, getting to the pointy end of the preseason. So it's good to be back into in-season program where there's a bit more recovery involved and more match-like training. No more running cone to cone around the boundary line, which we've done a lot of. And it's been a really, really solid preseason. Obviously, we've had a lot of hot days. I think there's been 10 days in February alone that have been over 40 degrees. And that hasn't meant that we've pulled back on training at all. We've been going flat knacker for the whole time. So really keen to get into the season proper. We've got another another practice match against Port Adelaide this Friday, and then we've got a waffle game next weekend as well for our preparation, and then we're into the real season. So looking forward to it.
Jaeger, with that sort of logjam in the middle there, any anticipation, or has there been any discussion about Hayden Young moving back to, I guess, the defence again, and are the defenders rubbing their hands together going, come on, come back?
Yeah, I think the defenders would like him back there, but we love him in the midfield, and that's a good thing about Hayden Young is he can play in both of those positions. He did a really good job for us at the end of last year, and did some nullifying jobs on some opposition midfielders. So he's got a few strings to his bow, which is a really good thing for us.
I think only Dustin Martin has a higher percentage of contested ball wins than Nathan over the course of Nathan's career. Are you able to play with a little bit more width, get to the outside a little bit more if you know he's in there and he's likely to win the contest he's going to?
Yeah, for sure. And that's one thing that Fifey's worked really hard on over the preseason is not just having to be that bash and crash player that we've come to know him to be. And he's done that for a number of years over his career. But he's added other strings to his bow where he can play different roles in the midfield mix. He's not always a guy that we need to do that. We've got a number of guys that can do that, but it's definitely pleasing that he's still able to do that for sure.
So you mentioned that a lot of guys are going to have to roll through different roles. Apart from going to a wing, what other strings to your bow do you have? I remember seeing you playing a half-back flank, I reckon, in an under-15s game once.
Yeah, I spent a little bit of time at half-back at the end of last year as well. I'm happy to play anywhere, to be honest. I just want to play on this team. It's a really exciting team. We've got a number of young guys that are their trajectory is just going on an upwards incline. So I just want to play on the team. If we can stick together and stay healthy and continue to have the hunger that the group's got, then I think we're going to trend in the right direction and hopefully have a lot better year than we did last year.
The starts all last year were a problem. What have you done to address that over the summer?
We've trained that really hard, just wanting to come out. Last year, a lot of the time we're coming out and we're 2 or 3 goals behind at quarter time, so we're starting behind all the time. So we've just tried to attack training from the start with that mindset, and we want to continue to take that into games this year.
I think Justin Longmuir said that it wasn't sexy, but it sort of started with the contest for you guys. Were you satisfied with that after the Eagles game?
Yeah, I think so. Contest and team defence is where our game starts. That's been said publicly a number of times. So if we get that right, that gives us the chance to have that mid-forward connection, as we spoke about before. But we've got to get that right from the start, and we'll be trying to do that for every game this year.
I guess there's also the additional challenge this week as well of travel. So I guess how do you face coming back into that kind of mindset?
Yeah, we haven't done it for a little while, but we're all used to it. We do a lot of travel. I think we do. Us and West Coast obviously do the most travel out of any club in the league. So nothing too different. It'll actually be nice to get away as a group. We haven't done it for a while, so good little team bonding.
Good measuring stick to top 6 team last year's tipped to be a top 6 team again.
Yeah, absolutely, and they've got some new personnel that have come through as well. So I'm sure they'll be up the top end of the ladder again this year, and it's going to be a great test for us on Friday.